opinion on this. And now, viewers, on to India and Nepal ties that have taken significant turn. Now, steps towards resetting bilateral relationships has been made as Nepal's Foreign Minister Shisir Khanal held wide-ranging talks with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi, producing a clutch of concrete announcements that both sides hope will define a new chapter in one of South Asia's most consequentially important partnerships. The meeting, the centerpiece of Khanal's maiden visit to India as a foreign minister, resulted in 3 landmark joint announcements. First, the launch of cross-border UPI-linked digital payments between the two countries, the handover of 84 post-earthquake reconstruction projects, and thirdly, a path-breaking AI language technology agreement between Indian and Nepali institutions. Now, diplomatically, the meeting carries significance beyond its immediate deliverables. Khanal's visit is widely seen as laying the groundwork for a future visit by Nepal's Prime Minister Balin Shah to New Delhi. Nepal Foreign Minister Shisir Khanal highlighted growing India-Nepal cooperation in trade, energy and digital payments while praising India's economic rise during his New Delhi visit. Meanwhile, amid the ongoing row over the Lipu Lake Pass, Nepal's Foreign Minister Shisir Khanal stated that Nepal would like to resolve its border dispute with India through an open heart. Khanal added that Nepal would like to resolve issues with India through diplomacy. The visit in fact marks the highest level official engagement from the government of Prime Minister Balendra Shah since it assumed office in March this year. Let's also now take a look at what these 3 landmark joint announcements that have been made are. Firstly, we are looking at cross-border digital payments. It's one of the most important announcements that we saw after the meeting. Here is a visual from that meeting between Shisir Khanal and S. Jaishankar. Operationalization of person-to-person cross-border digital payment transaction. It's very important, particularly for Nepal and for India, of course, as well. A linkage between India's NPCI, which operates UPI, and Nepal's NCHL. We're looking at the operationalization of it. Second, there are 84 projects that have been handed over, 72 health facilities and 12 cultural heritage projects reconstructed with Indian development assistance. Very important move by India here. And thirdly, we're talking about AI language technology agreement has been inked between the two sides. MOU between Digital India, Bhashini and the Center for Digital Public Infrastructure and AI at Kathmandu University. These are among the broad outcomes and announcements that we've seen from this meeting. So this agreement on AI language technology aims to co-create a national digital infrastructure for a voice-first language translation platform for Nepal. So these are the details and interesting visuals as well from that meeting between the new Foreign Minister of Nepal, Shisir Khanal, and S. Jaishankar, Indian External Affairs Minister. Let's in fact go across to our panelists. I'm joined in by Ambassador Veena Sikri, former diplomat, and I also have our defense expert, retired Major General Sudhakar ji, and with me also is Murli Manohar Tiwari. He's a senior journalist from Himalini Hindi magazine in Nepal. So I would in fact want to start with Mr. Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, धन्यवाद आपका जुड़ने के लिए. पहले तो ये बताइए कि इस बार जो अग्रीमेंट साइन हुए हैं, जो टोन और टेनर देखा गया है अग्रीमेंट का, मीटिंग का, लैंग्वेज का, कितना डिफरेंट है पहले के मीटिंग्स में अब जब बालेन शाह की गवर्नमेंट आई है? तो
पहले के समय से तुलना किया जाए तो पहले लगभग 2023 में यूपीआई पेमेंट के लिए एक प्रयास किया गया था, जिसमें एनसीएचएल नेपाल का और एनपीसीआई इंडिया का मिलके ट्रांजैक्शन होता था, लेकिन वो सिर्फ टूरिस्ट के लिए था। उसमें कोई नेपाली लोग चाहे तो यूपीआई पेमेंट नहीं कर पाते थे, तो उसका ऐप का कोई मतलब नहीं था। तो इसको आज जो ये हुआ है, जो यूपीआई और एनपीआई के बीच में, तो इससे दोनों देश के लोग अपना ट्रांजैक्शन कर पाएंगे। ये बहुत सुविधाजनक होगा, क्योंकि नेपाल में सबसे ज्यादा समस्या क्या होती है कि इंडिया जाने में इंडिया करेंसी इंडिया का है, तो और उसमें भी लिमिटेशन रहता है कि आप 20,000 तक के ज्यादा नहीं ला पाएंगे। तो इसके लिए बॉर्डर पे तस्करी होता है, हवाला का कार्ड जो है, और इस समस्या है जो लगातार पुलिस प्रशासन दोनों देशों में बॉर्डर पे उन लोगों को फेस करना पड़ता है। तो इस ट्रांजेक्शन के कारण पारदर्शिता भी आएगी, और इंडियन नेपाली करेंसी का जो हवाला कार्ड था उसको हतोत्साहित किया जाएगा। पहला बेनिफिट ये होने वाला है। दूसरा, एआई के बारे में जो अभी नया जो एमओयू गठन किया गया काठमांडू यूनिवर्सिटी से और डिजिटल इंडिया भाषिक से, इसका भी संभावना बहुत ज्यादा है। दोनों देश में काठमांडू के संबंध अगर एक दूसरे से विकसित किया जाता है, और काठमांडू यूनिवर्सिटी को कहा जाए तो काठमांडू यूनिवर्सिटी और त्रिभुवन यूनिवर्सिटी जो नेपाल के सबसे टॉप मोस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी है, उनसे अगर ट्रांजेक्शन होता है तो दोनों के संबंध निश्चित रूप से मधुर होंगे। बीच के समय जो देखा गया, बालेन शाह के पहले जो सरकारें थी, वो सरकारें भारत के प्रति कहीं न कहीं नकारात्मक थी, जिससे गलत संदेश जाया करता था। लेकिन बालेन शाह के आने के बाद से बहुत सकारात्मक इस परिस्थिति बनी है। हालांकि इसमें भी मैं जोड़ना चाहूंगा कि बीच के समय में दोनों देश के तरफ कुछ अतिवादी लोगों के कारण गलत व्याख्या करने के कारण बहुत जगह गलतफहमी पैदा हुई। जैसे कि बालेन शाह को भारत ने बुलाया था, और बालेन शाह का अपना स्पष्ट मत था कि मैं अभी 1 साल तक कहीं नहीं जाऊंगा, मुझे अभी गृह कार्य करना है, तो मैं पूरी तैयारी के साथ भारत जाऊंगा अगले साल। अब उसको गलत जगह प्रचारित किया गया। भारतीय मीडिया से आया कि नेपाल घुटने पे आया, नेपाल से आया कि भारत की दादागिरी नहीं चलेगी। तो यहाँ समझने वाली बात यह है कि भारत और नेपाल के लोग जो है, दोनों में बहुत ही अच्छे संबंध, काफी अच्छा मधुर संबंध, जिसका दुनिया में कहीं कोई मिसाल नहीं है। लेकिन होता क्या है कि बड़े भाई छोटे भाई का रिश्ता नेपाल में मंजूर नहीं है। वे बराबरी का दर्जा चाहते हैं। उनका ये है कि अगर मेरा प्रधानमंत्री है, मेरा देश छोटा है या जैसा भी है, तो मुझे बराबरी का दर्जा मिलना चाहिए, सम्मान मिलना चाहिए। और इसको कहीं ना कहीं गलत नजरिए से पेश किया जाता है। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये जो विदेश मंत्री स्तरीय जो बातें हुई हैं, और जो ये 3 जो समझौते हुए, इससे भारत नेपाल संबंध एक कदम और आगे बढ़ा है। निश्चित इसमें सुधार हुआ है, और ये दोनों देशों के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा और सकारात्मक पहल है।
बिल्कुल। इनफैक्ट आई नाउ वांट टू गो अक्रॉस टू एम्बेसडर Veena Sikri as well, Ambassador. The operationalization of reciprocal cross-border UPI-linked payments, how transformative could this be for trade and tourism, remittances and informal economy integration between the two countries?
I think this is definitely a very positive and important step, because we do know that in the field of tourism and trade, Nepal and India have very, very dynamic and growing relationships, and both our countries are looking forward to tourist exchanges. We want people to visit each other's countries because we know that tourism is a great revenue earner, it's a great generator of friendship and understanding, and we want this to develop. So certainly for the large number of, you know how many flights there are between Kathmandu and Delhi every day, and between Kathmandu and Bombay, and Kathmandu and Kolkata. So there's a great deal of people going across. But I think the most important aspect of the visit by the Foreign Minister of Nepal, His Excellency Shisir Khanal, has been the understanding that it has generated. And I'd like to put his visit in the context of the visit a few days ago by the chairman of the ruling party of Nepal, Rabi Lamishane, who came to India a few days ago and also had excellent meetings. In fact, you know, there was a kind of a misunderstanding tending to be built up, but there was in reality no misunderstanding. But the visits by the chairman of the Rashtriya Swatantrata Party and by the foreign minister of Nepal have really been very dynamic and very significant in setting the right tone. And the foreign minister of Nepal, in his statement, in his meetings, as well as the article written by Mr. Ravi Rameshani in the Hindustan Times, and the meetings he had, if you see both of these things together, you will see that foreign minister of Nepal was absolutely clear that India is the most important partner for Nepal, and they want to solve all problems with India bilaterally, directly, and through dialogue. So that whole misunderstanding which was there after the speech by Prime Minister Balan Shah in the Nepal Parliament, where he had spoken about some other countries, all that is completely a thing of the past, and a complete understanding is there that existing mechanisms will be used, bilateral dialogue will be used, and both countries attach the highest importance to maintaining this good relationship, people to people relationship, government to government relationship, and business to business relationship. The areas that Nepal is most interested in, as stated by Foreign Minister Shisir Khanal, one is energy cooperation. He wants energy cooperation because obviously even countries, like all countries, including Nepal, India, and others, have been severely hit by the energy crisis. And we want the cooperation between India and Nepal so that in Nepal is able to meet its energy requirements. That's very important. Connectivity requirement, that, if you want tourism to develop, you want people to people relation to develop, connectivity is very important. This is the other area is stressed on. Trade and technology, these are two additional areas. We know that in Nepal, there's now going to be a data center built by Google, which I think they have announced they're going to build in Nepal. India also is getting a large number of data centers. So, in these areas where Nepal and India can work together in training each other's people, in working together, in overcoming problems together, and in meeting the challenges of AI, artificial intelligence together. And I think that the assurances that have been given by Foreign Minister of Nepal, the nature of the bilateral dialogue, the really friendship and meeting of the minds in all the meetings he met, of course, External Affairs Minister, but he also met NSA, he met the Home Minister. He had really a huge number of meetings. And before him, when the chairman of the RSP was here, he also had a lot of meetings, including, of course, the meeting with the Prime Minister. So all this has been made this now, the visit and the relationship between India and Nepal, which for us has always been a very, very significant relationship, and we want always that it should remain like that, and any misunderstandings should be solved bilaterally.
Yes.
This is exactly what has been achieved. So we do now look forward to the implementation of the agreements. The MOU signed have been significant, but of course work has to be done, and we have always helped Nepal even in the question of disaster relief. And as you know, External Affairs Minister handed over those projects which have been completed. So the atmosphere has changed completely with this visit. An atmosphere of friendship, of confidence, of trust building, of determination and appreciation that yes, we can work out any problem that may be. We can work it out bilaterally on a one-to-one basis, on the basis of complete equality and trust. There is absolutely no question that there is complete equality between the sovereign countries of India and Nepal. And what we need to do is to work on this equality and build it into a relationship of trust and friendship.
Right. Okay.
So
Let me also now bring in fact, General Sudhakar, and I'll come back to you, Ambassador. General, now the border issue, Kalapani or Lipu Lake, has been a persistent irritant. In your opinion, assessment, what realistic pathways exist for managing, if not fully resolving, such territorial sensitivities while keeping overall ties still positive?
Priti, good evening. Thank you for taking me for your show, and my warm greetings to all the distinguished and esteemed co-panelists. मैं खास तौर पे तिवारी साहब को बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। आज काफ़ी समय के बाद कोई नेपाल से इस तरह बात बोले हैं जो दिल को छूने वाली बात है। मैं आपको बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। उसमें एक सच्चाई का एक जो बोलते हैं ना स्मेल आ रहा था। सो काफ़ी कुछ नेगेटिव रिपोर्टिंग बीच में हुआ है, तो इसके लिए बहुत हमें भी दुख होता है, क्योंकि नेपाल और हिंदुस्तान ये मैं तो कहूँगा एक ही परिवार के हैं। और मैं भी काफ़ी बार नेपाल में गया हूँ। मिलजुल के रहना निहायत ही आवश्यक है, क्योंकि दोनों देश के चारों तरफ फोर्सेस इनिमिकल टू आवर इंटरेस्ट घेरने लगे हैं। और कुछ कुछ बाहर से भी आ रहे हैं जो अंदर घुसपैठ करके नेपाल को और हिंदुस्तान को डिस्टेबलाइज करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। जहाँ तक जो कीर्ति मैडम ने पूछा अभी बाउंड्री के मसला, मैं तो कहूँगा एवरी प्रॉब्लम कैन बी रिजॉल्व। I have gone myself as a major, as a colonel, as a brigadier, as a general officer, Nepal. We have the best of understandings with the Nepal. So whether it is Limpoadharia, there is some historical perspective to everything, and there is something which has been done at the behest of provocateurs, I would say. So we have to draw a line. We need to respect our. The best part is that Nepal has outrightly said that there is no requirement of the third party mediation. Everything will be resolved bilaterally, which is a very, I would say, the hallmark of understanding between two neighbors is resolving issues bilaterally. And what better than between Nepal and India? This is a living epitome, an example before others. So I don't see this is going to be a problem, because historically speaking, and also technically, legally speaking, Limpoadharia, in a short time, if I have to explain, so far the boundary existed along the line of Mahakali Nadi, to the best of my understanding. But 1 or 2 years back, Nepal has taken recourse to claiming the area west of it, Limpoadharia. They said it's not the watershed, it is the origin from where the real river, Limpoadharia is the origin from where the water comes and joins with Mahakali. So, well, if that is the understanding, I'm sure we can talk it out, we can have a dialogue, because a thing which was non-existent earlier at the time of independence of India, why create a new one? By creating a new problem, we are having new people coming in and creating troubles for ourselves. Something by give and take, I'm sure we'll be able to resolve it. The history has to be respected. And we have been having a ITBP headquarters there at, what do you call this, Mahakali Nadi, Limpoadharia itself. We used to go across, and we used to have trade and negotiations with the Chinese also. And therefore, with Nepal. And therefore, to create a new chapter is going to actually, spoil the relationship. So I leave it to the experts who are dealing with it. It would be too premature on our part to discuss and comment on an issue which is very, very sensitive at the moment. So I leave it to the best of experts between Nepal and India to apply themselves and come out with a pragmatic and practical solution, which has been respected by, prior to this new interjection by Nepal, and also has been accepted mutually by India and Nepal. I don't think this issue should be raked up and should become a thorn between Nepal and India. We should resolve it. If we don't, then we have countries like China who are waiting to actually pounce on such issues. They will take advantage and they will come in to the detriment of national interest of Nepal as also.
Right, okay. Let me then take that with Mr. Tiwari. Tiwari ji, we know चाइना का ग्रोइंग इन्फ्लुएंस है नेपाल पे, उसके चलते ये जो 84 प्रोजेक्ट्स इंडिया हैंड ओवर कर रहा है नेपाल को, कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है, कितना महत्वपूर्ण है, और कैसे नेपाल देखता है इंडिया और चाइना के साथ टाइज को बैलेंस करने का?
बहुत अच्छा सवाल है आपका। पहला ये समझिए कि चाइना से एक देश के नाते जो नाता होना चाहिए सरकार का, वो होता है, लेकिन नेपाल की जो जनता है वो भारत के लोगों से कनेक्टेड, उनसे बेटी रोटी का संबंध है, बहुत ही भावनात्मक संबंध। और जो अभी बात हो रही थी जमीन विवाद की, लिम्पियाधुरा का, इंडिफू लेक का, इसको इस तरह समझने की जरूरत है कि यह कोई कश्मीर का मुद्दा है या गाजा पट्टी का मुद्दा नहीं, यह जमीन का विवाद है जो आपसी वार्ता से उसका हल निकल जाएगा। जिसे मालूम नहीं है, नेपाल भारत बॉर्डर में कई जगह पिलर ऐसे जगह पे है जो बाढ़ में खुद पिलर बह के दूसरे जगह चले जाते हैं। बाढ़ सूखने के बाद दोनों तरफ के लोग उठा के लाते हैं और दिखाते हैं कि इस जगह पहले था, यहाँ पे लगा दिया जाए। तो भारत नेपाल के लोग जो है, जो इस बॉर्डर पे बसे हुए हैं, वो बॉर्डर की रक्षा करते हैं। भारत का इतिहास कभी ऐसा नहीं रहा कि वो विस्तारवादी राजनीति को अंजाम दे, किसी का जमीन कैप्चर कर ले। हम लोग भारत के छत्र छाया में सुरक्षित है और भारत के लोग ये महसूस करते हैं। ये रिश्ता चाइना के साथ कभी नहीं रहा, कभी नहीं होगा। एक देश के नाते, अब नेपाल एक देश है तो उसका सभी जगह अपना डिप्लोमेटिक रिश्ता होना चाहिए, चाइना से भी उतना ही है, लेकिन भावनात्मक रिश्ता चाइना से कभी नहीं रहा है। कुछ ग्रुप विशेष उसको कभी कभी प्रयोग करने की कोशिश किए हैं, लेकिन कभी भी आम जनता ने उसको तरहीज नहीं दिया। जहां तक ये एड्स की बात है, भारत नेपाल को हमेशा सहयोग करते रहा है। आज नहीं, बहुत लंबा इतिहास है, राजा के टाइम से लेके और आज तक। इसके पहले भूकंप में सबसे पहले भूकंप आया, उस समय तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री सुशील कोइराला विदेश में थे। उनको जानकारी नहीं थी कि उनके देश में भूकंप आया है। मोदी जी ने उनको फोन करके बताया कि आपके देश में भूकंप आया है और हम लोग राहत सामग्री भेज रहे हैं। तो ये रिश्ता जो बॉन्डिंग है, इसका तो कहीं तुलना ही नहीं किया जा सकता है। तो ये जो रिलीफ आइटम अभी भेजा गया है भारत द्वारा, वह नेपाल के जरूरतमंद में, जहां जहां दुर्गम क्षेत्र है, जहां जहां प्रकृति का विपदा आता रहता है, उसमें बहुत ही सहयोग होगा। और इससे भारत नेपाल के लोगों में और एकजुटता बढ़ेगा और रिश्ता मजबूत होगा। और जो जमीन विवाद है, वो कोई ऐसा विवाद नहीं है जिसके लिए दोनों देश आंख तड़ेरे और एक दूसरे से रिश्ता खराब करें। इस पर वार्ता होना चाहिए। हम लोग का मांग ये है कि जो भी हमारी समस्या है, जो भी डिस्प्यूट है, उस पर एक बार टेबल टॉक हो, उसको प्रमुखता दिया जाए, उसको इग्नोर नहीं किया जाए और बात करने से बिल्कुल समाधान निकलेगा, इसका मेरा विश्वास है।
All right. Ambassador, I want to come to you as well. What role do you see the India-Nepal relationship playing in India's broader Himalayan or Indo-Pacific strategy, especially amid the growing Chinese influence in Nepal? And did this meeting address the strategic balancing, whether implicitly or explicitly?
India and Nepal have, they're very important. Nepal is a critical part of India's neighborhood first foreign policy. And in that context, we want that, relationship should remain positive and dynamic and of mutual benefit. And I'm very glad to hear what Tiwari ji has just said, that, the relationship between our two countries is a bond of the spirit. It's emotional. It's a family-to-family relationship. And we want it to remain that way. So it is actually the visit of Foreign Minister of Nepal has brought it back on track as a relationship between two equals and two friends. And we're determined that we will not let any other, whether it is China or any other country. Of course, Nepal is free to develop its relations with other countries as it wishes. But certainly, the Foreign Minister of Nepal has said very clearly that there is no other country can disturb the relationship, the direct bonding and the direct understanding between Nepal and India. He has called the relationship with India as Nepal's most important partnership. So this is how we want to carry it forward. Is very important. Then Nepal and India also have a very important context in BIMSTEC. We have a relationship, how we are developing, the Nepal and India relationship through BIMSTEC. We also have a very dynamic relationship in the context of BBIN within SAARC. That is Bangladesh,
Right.
Bhutan, Nepal, and India. And in this context of the BBIN, we also have the energy exchange. That electricity can be given from Nepal to Bangladesh through Indian territory. And these arrangements have also been finalized. And in fact, Foreign Minister of Nepal spoke about it and he said they attach high importance and they would like it to continue. So certainly in the regional context also, BBIN and BIMSTEC, we want the relationship between India and Nepal to develop positively, and we want Nepal to grow dynamically. I think this is a very, very important point that was made by the Foreign Minister of Nepal, which we fully support, that Nepal wants to develop first and foremost its own economy. Because you know that the way in which the RSP has been brought in with this huge wave of popularity and a very steady and stable government, whereas in previous years the Nepal government has been changing frequently and Nepal has never been able to develop its economy consistently. But now the new government of Nepal under Prime Minister Balan Shah, Foreign Minister Shisir Khanal, they want to bring benefits to the people of Bangladesh, the youth of Bangladesh, first and foremost. So that is another very important. So this UPI agreement and all, they're going to make it very easy and make it very clear and encourage the people of India and Nepal to cooperate with each other. And we want to help Nepal in every manner possible to make sure it grows by at least 6 to 7% a year. In fact, as the foreign minister of Nepal was saying, as he said, Nepal has not been growing to its potential in the last few years, and the rate of growth has always been less than 5%. Sometimes much less than 5%. But now they want to double that, get into double-digit growth. And for this, the cooperation with India is very important, and India stands ready to give the cooperation in full measure. Anything that Nepal wants, I think, under our neighborhood first foreign policy will certainly be extended to Nepal. And any problems like the border issues, the foreign minister himself saying that we will do it bilaterally within existing mechanisms and there's no place for any other country. This was a very, very important statement that he made. And I think all the decisions that were taken are important steps in preparing for the visit by Prime Minister Balen Shah to India. We look forward to that visit, and we look forward in between to working hard on showing how India can contribute to the economic growth of Nepal and political trust and friendship between our two peoples and governments.
Right. All right. That's all I have time for. Ambassador Sikri and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this important discussion. And with that, viewers, we are taking a very quick commercial break. We'll be back.